rather than, you know, just a whole bunch of pictures that you put up on Facebook and then nobody else is looking at a week later. But it's something they'll look back on years from now. I hope that's what I try to do, and you know, that's my kind of intention, is to get them the best pictures that they'll remember, and the best emotions. And sometimes I like to take pictures of reminding them things that, you know, they can't remember or that miss them. I'll leave that for no silly little things like, you know, picking up a glass of something, or just sort of walking from one end of the room to the other, or just saying something to a friend, just stuff like that, and they go, oh wow, I didn't know we sort of, you got that moment. So it's kind of refreshing their memory, but also giving them stuff which they'll remember, you know, that moment and be able to connect that moment to reality. So.
Alright, now Kesra, you have a few, how would I say it, 5 tip insights, I should say, in photography, your insights. And the first one is, don't get into it as a profession.
Well, like I said, I never knew I'd get into it. I hated it as a subject, as a thing. Oddly enough, I started with video. I did a documentary in Europe's largest meat market, but that's another subject. Getting into it as a profession, I think, this is generalizing, but perhaps it might be the wrong way to do it. I spent a lot of my first years not getting paid or getting like tiny amounts of money. I did it because I loved doing it.
So it was your passion?
Yeah. And when that's your motivator, that gets you to a point where you are sort of able to make it a profession. But I think if you want to make it a profession first, to think, oh, I can earn all this much money and I can do this and this and this, well, you might be missing the bus. You may still be able to make it. You know, in the UK, I met a couple of photographers who used to say, I'm just in it for the money. But hey, that's them. If you love it, you need to develop that first. I've shot hundreds of protests, demonstrations, riots, carnivals, theater things. Like, that was what taught me how to shoot what I shoot now. And that's what gives me the ability to do that and develop it, and then turn that into a profession. So I think that's what I mean by, you know, don't go into it for the wrong reason just yet because everyone's doing it or it's a cool thing to do. You know, it is a tremendously amazing profession. But it is also extremely hard working. I mean, I'm up most hours of the day, literally, like, you know, back to back. I haven't had a holiday in about 3 years. The only time I've been overseas is to shoot. I might go to Aussie in July to shoot a wedding, and that's, again, everyone saying, oh, take a holiday. I'm like, nope, I have to go, come back, because I've got weddings back to back, and I've got all these shoots and edits, and then I'm doing this, and I'm doing something else, and I want to go to shoot this festival and that. So you really have to get involved in it and sort of
pretty much you're mixing your vacation with work in a way, if you put it.
I wish I could.
Doesn't it seem like it sometimes?
All my friends queue up whenever I have to shoot a hotel or something, and they say, oh, you know, can we come along, hold your life?
I would.
And I say, do you want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and sort of get out there? Because it's not, it's very hard work. And that's, I think, what you need to really keep in mind so that you become a good photographer. If you just want to do it because you're bored or you think it might be a fast track to easy money or something.
Alright, so let's get into the next tip you have. It's a passion. You live it, breathe it, it works in your head when you sleep.
It does.
I guess what you said, it goes back to what you said before. It's a 24-hour thing, right? Yes.
And in wedding season, you hear the music playing in your head once you've gone to sleep.
So literally it goes on.
After I shoot a wedding, you know, it takes me, you might finish at say 1 o'clock in the morning, get back to Colombo or wherever, and then back up all the pictures. And that can take another hour in itself. So it's about 3 o'clock when you go to bed. But you have to understand that. You've got to put your heart and soul into it.
Take your camera everywhere you use it is one of your main insights. And the coolest thing, it leads to a question to me asking, like, the coolest thing you ever snapped, because you carry your camera everywhere you go. Every time I see you in Sri Lanka, I see you with a camera.
I used to. I used to. Now it's just come to the point where I've seen a lot, done a lot. I don't feel the need to document everything. If I see a beautiful sunset, I like to appreciate that as opposed to take 20 pictures of it and think, oh,
But
it's
for
gonna,
a budding
I'm gonna lose it.
photographer, it's important to carry your camera
I would
around,
say
is
even
it?
get as smaller camera as you can.
Okay.
If that means you'll take that with you, as opposed to getting a nice big one which can do all these cool things, but you'll only use once a month because you're too lazy or you're too tired, or it's just not practical, or it gets too much attention. A small one is great. Use your phone. Use lots of different methods and things, but take it everywhere and use it.
Yeah.
You know.
And the next tip, try different types of cameras: DSLR, pinhole camera, mobile phone, video point and shoot, film. Film? Does anyone use film anymore?
Well,
It's a mix, I guess. Since they have like DSLR cameras and
And then
the
pinhole
video
cameras.
functions and all that.
yeah. I'll just go into the film point of view. My biggest regret, perhaps because I spent so much time hating photography in the film days, is that I never actually used film, as in the the rolls of film with the chemical makeup and the negative that goes into the camera. And a lot of photographers I know and admire had the chance to do that, and I wish I did, because I believe for some pictures it has a certain something. It also makes it more challenging to take pictures. Digital is easy, snap, snap, snap. Film, you've got to think about it, and it also costs a lot of money, especially now. So that makes you think about what you're doing and work towards that. So I would say if you can get hold of a film camera and some film, try it out. At least just try it out for the sake of trying it out. For me.
All right, so we're running out of time. And my producer's saying, quickly. All right, shoot some more. That's one of your tips.
Yeah, going back to what I said before.
Yeah.
Just keep
going.
taking pictures. That's what I did. You know, one
Practice
picture
makes
after the other.
perfect.
Yeah, practice makes
not
perfect.
sound
And then you'll know when the time is right for you to take it elsewhere, and the opportunities will come to you.
Yeah. All right. Really fast question. The coolest moment you've ever photographed, which was you photographed some stuff in during the London riots way back, and there was one story that I really want.
Well, actually, it was an industrial fire that I trekked through the middle of nowhere to get to with this big skinhead tattooed dude, and we got right to it. There were gas cylinders going up 20 feet in front of you, and suddenly there's this big thick wall of black smoke next to us, and it's a dead end. So there's nowhere to go. And at that point, I thought you could feel the heat, and it was a huge fire. Nobody else could get near it. Not even the news guys could get near it. We just, thanks to my buddy, we managed to get right next to it. But at that point, I thought, okay, I've gotten so close to this, but I may not go anywhere else. But I managed to survive it. It taught me a lot. But yeah, that was probably the most memorable thing. Rather than the pictures I took, that was like the most memorable experience of coming so close to something, and also nearly sort of getting killed in the process. But it worked out. It worked out well. But,
and that's really what photography is all about.
You're here with us today. So thank God for that, right?
All right, Kisar, it's been such a joy to have two great photographers in the studio today, speaking about photography and all that. And Kisar, thank you very much for being on Good Morning Sri Lanka. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tomorrow we have a great show lined up for you, beauty queens and of today, and the women who ran Sri Lanka with their beauty in the 60s tomorrow. But we'd like to wrap things up, and also you can check us out on our Facebook site, which is www.facebook.com/Good Morning Sri Lanka. Click the like button and stand the chance to win some NTV Sports merchandise. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Amaya. Thanks so much for being with us here today. And to wrap up our show, we have some shots that were taken by Chamil Tantrimudalige, who was here with us earlier. So thank you, Chamil, for all of those shots. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Kesara, for being here with us today. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you for the insight. And that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. See you tomorrow.